And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the College League of Legends Championships. We're in the semifinals with the University of St. Thomas up 2-0. Joining me, the student director of University of St. Thomas, Nova. Now, Nova, you were hoisting the trophy with these guys as the head coach last year. What's it been like stepping into this different role?
Yeah, I've talked about this a little bit. Like, it's really different being in the back and not having as much control as I did before. But the really nice thing is making sure that the people who are on stage are as qualified as what I considered myself to be last year. And that's definitely the case now. I mean, AIRREN comes in with so much experience as a coach, and it's definitely clear what he's able to provide with the team. So I go back I go to the back, and I'm very confident with like what we're going to provide on stage.
Yeah, now, of course, you have 3 returning members from that championship run, yourself included. But what's it been like incorporating Olaf, Dardoch, and Daption into the team this year?
It's really funny. I'm really grateful with the kind of members that we have sliding in, because the very first semester that we had Trevor and Array, which is a completely different roster, especially with Kitsuo. And every single semester, it felt like something was changing. I was even the support at one point. But the reason why I'm grateful is because the members that we kept picking up slotted in really, really well. Dardoch was already friends with Shogo and Olaf, obviously, and they were playing on NACL together. So yeah, it felt really great to kind of have this roster come.
Yeah. Now, last thing, I was joining you guys for scrims the other day. A lot of chirping in the back. Alorum currently top 50 on the ladder, where Shogo's only Grandmaster. So how are you guys going to fix this before finals?
Well, thank God that Porsche got Challenger. He got out of Shogo low.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, like the players, no matter their rank, they're just going to be the best on stage. So.
All right. Well, hey, best of luck. Looking forward to seeing if you guys can make that rematch for the finals against Maryville tomorrow. Until then, throw it back to Grapes and Joushi for Game 3.
Thank you very much, Cubby. I mean, I don't know, Joushi. Shogolo doesn't sound too bad.
Shogolo doesn't sound too bad with the way he's been playing so far, right? I mean, we have been seeing fantastic performances from so many of their members today, but it is another spot where we are seeing this VALORANT might have a pretty big impact in the games we've seen so far.
Can I also say, Nova's a tall guy.
Nova's tall.
He was
made
towering over Cubby.
Cubby is like 6 foot at least. So like the fact that Nova's just towering over him, it kind of feels like the way his team is towering over the competition right now, right?
That's
Nova,
a caster thing.
He's making the that's what we call a segue at that point. But we got to look at this again, right? UST is currently up 2-0. You and I were saying this is either going to be a quick 3-0 from UST or a banger 5-game series. And currently, we're a little bit closer to the 3-0 than we are to the 3-2.
But what a series it would be if it went 5. Am I right? UST...
I already tweeted about it. There's no way St. Louis come back from a 0-2, right?
Oh, okay. There's no way. Okay, we're going 5 games. Let's go.
All right.
Back on to the draft. St. Louis actually opting towards blue side, which is unusual here on this patch, but I think the big thing is that they maybe get a little bit more control over what Shogo gets to play.
Well, I think it's that, but it's also the fact that they are now forcing St. Thomas, in theory, to be banning the Milio, right? And also we're seeing St. Thomas ban away the Maokai. I was saying that St. Louis needed to be the one to actually ban away the Maokai, not St. Thomas, because of how good Dardoch was looking at, how good it was at shutting down all of SLU's game plans. And now, I'm actually surprised it's taking as long as it has for St. Thomas to ban away the Milio. It makes me think that they have a plan for it. And now, SLU, they either have to have a plan to play into it, or they need to pick it right now and they go for the Jinx.
Okay, so AIRREN played very well in the Jinx in game 1, getting a little bit more comfort here on the blue side.
Yeah.
Gonna be a very strong pickup for him. Now the Milio, I think this might be the first time that it has been left open in CLOL top 4 this weekend, but instead, priority dropped just a tiny bit, but Daption will be piloting it. How did St. Louis respond to this?
I mean, that's the big thing, right? We have been seeing a lot of inventive answers, but if you have to just look at a single support, the most common answers have been Nami is fairly common just because you're able to heal and do a lot of harass in the lane. And then also, we've seen things like the Senna, but the Blitzcrank is the one that a lot of people look at as this is the counter pick to the Milio. And already we are seeing Strompest go back to another one of the tried and true classic champions. It doesn't matter if you can cleanse the CC if you're dead. That's the one crowd control you can't.
And also adding some burst for AIRREN on the Jinx. Okay. That's what we were kind of alluding to back in the day. Strompest showing off some of the champions that he has made his name on this champion over the last couple of years. Hey, he's pretty good on the LeBlanc as well, I will say. I expect the bot lane to be finished up here. SkyTec does play a lot of creative things. There's a Vi. I don't know where it's going just yet. We have to keep our minds open just a tad because SkyTec can play that in support.
That is true. This is a classic winning champion, though. We have been seeing it quite a bit from the jungle throughout NACL, as RobbyBob also doing the exact same thing as Strompest. Like, I wish I could play all of these champions. Wish I could play the cat.
Shout out to Kids.
Go to AREMs. But it is going to be yet again another spot where if you look at this combination coming through from LeBlanc and Vi, it's so easy to take down individual members. But the one character that they really struggle to play into is this Xayah. I think it was yesterday. I remember who was saying it. Might have been Cubby, might have been Hawk, actually. I don't want to see another Vi play it as long as Xayah is available. And look at that. The exact same thing is coming true again.
It's going to be so hard to kill Shogo once more in a different way, right? The untargetability, the having Milio cleanse all the crowd control. There's multiple ways now for Shogo to escape the lockdown and the burst that St. Louis has opened up with in this draft.
Yeah. It's going to be a really tough position here for SLU already, right? We said with the Maokai gone, they might have some opportunities to go for these stronger engages. And we know that SLU, like, they go one direction. It is a major part of why Game 2 was as explosive as it was for St. Thomas, was because they knew exactly how they needed to play. Just kite back. We're going to create space. We're going to make sure that Shogo can do everything. That leaves Porsche and RobbyBob to kind of run amok. But as the Blitzcrank does get banned away, I'm curious what the plan is for SkyTec at this point, right? These are some of the big counter picks. The only other one that I've really seen have a lot of success without like some unusual character in the marksman role is Nami. And
Jinx Nami doesn't sound too good.
It's okay, but like it's not the kind of thing that's going to be super powering this Jinx. It's also not going to be creating a ton of pressure on Milio all on its own. And Dardoch going back another tried and true, which has emerged as a counter pick to the Vi in the Lee Sin.
Of course, Dardoch has played for so long. You know that he is such a good Lee Sin. Hovers here for SLU. I wonder what they will end up selecting. It is probably support and top lane that they have to finish off this draft with. I don't really know if this Nautilus is the answer.
Oh, I hope it's not. Okay, it is going to be the Ashe. You can poke away at the Milio, right? With the, oh, but we're not playing on 1310. There's no Ahelia. There's nothing that gives everything out for the free font of life buff across the entire team. So you are going to be able to poke things out from a long way away and send another engage tool, this time going over towards the support. And again, Vital finding the 1v1 advantageous lane in the Olaf into the Cassante, but it didn't really matter, right? He was not able to leverage that in game 1, and as we see, RobbyBob going right back on towards one of the more traditional picks, that's going to shut down a lot of the things that Strompest has been trying to do over the course of this series and trying to blow people up. I feel like this is kind of the third game in a row that St. Thomas has come out with an advantage in the draft.
The RobbyBob Lissandra going to be very valuable, right? You have so many threats like Winnie and Vital running into you, and then you also have Strompest on this LeBlanc, which can just really easily be shut down by the Liss. And
yeah,
I mean, once again, who's killing Shogo? There's so many tools at UST's disposal to keep their AD carry alive.
Yeah. And the other thing is, as you kind of look at this composition, there's not a whole lot of actual crowd control on the side of St. Louis, which means that Daption's job, in order to cleanse those individual crowd controls, is that much easier. He's like, oh, the arrow hit. Oh, there's a knockback. Oh, there's a root coming through from Strompest, and you're just like, okay, cleanse that one. I don't need to wait for the maximum usage of this. You just need to do it on the one crowd control that can shut down Shogo. And so this actually frees Shogo up to ignore the cleanse and instead just go directly for a ghost, which makes his team fighting potential that much scary. And as the coaches shake hands for potentially the final time, we are one game away from a UST Maryville rematch.
And that is, I feel like, what a lot of fans were hoping for and perhaps expecting coming into this weekend. UST and Maryville, that was what was many considered to be the true final in that semifinal matchup. It was UST taking that 3-1. We heard yesterday that Maryville were very eager to face off against UST.
Yeah.
And honestly,
give it
UST, St. Thomas wants to do the same thing as well.
So we'll see what they can do, right? It is worth noting that SLU is still in a position where they have only beaten UST once at the Philadelphia LAN. But now we are going to see if their opponents can continue their streak of dominance here and move themselves into finals for a potential two-time back-to-back repeat championship. But as we jump out onto the Rift, yet again, there's going to be a little bit more pressure towards the bottom side of the map. And Grapes, we've had 2 games so far where Winnie, tries to get these advantages early on at level 1, but he doesn't have any support right now. Everybody else is moving towards the bottom side of the map to potentially get a little bit of control of the actual lane brushes.
It just seems like such a difficult bottom lane to break, right? I mean, you have Shogo, who's going to be playing very aggressive on the Xayah, and then Milio, pretty good facilitating power. I mean, AIRREN and SkyTec have been on the back side, but have had opportunities to punch back. They're going to need some help from Winnie early on if they want to get themselves off to a good start.
That is how you played all of spring. This is a massive way that they were able to get Lynx and SkyTec ahead when they were playing for AoE. But as AIRREN comes through instead of Lynx, this is going to be a spot where SLU really need to make sure that this guy is ahead on this Jinx this time around. And again, I do want to give some praise to AIRREN, right? When you were in a position where they were able to make a lot of decisions, they created a lot of pressure on their own. But in game 2, they didn't have a whole lot of agency. It was mostly a spot where they were struggling to do anything. As Daption does walk back into the lane, does take a big burst of damage, which actually can help ameliorate a lot of the early troubles that you have into this champ.
Already tunked down about 60% HP, but I don't think that Daption is going to be too upset about that because UST are 1 win away from advancing to the final. And according to Dardoch, it's all a part of the plan.
All part of the plan. And we can see what else they can do.
It's been talk of collegiate kind of the whole year since I joined that UST is looking to run it back and do the championship again. So at least internally, that's been our expectation and our goal the entire time. And I don't think that's changed not for a single second this entire season. So we're looking forward to it for sure.
Some pretty bold words. Pretty cool to see somebody like Dardoch come in and really be so confident in his first year of collegiate.
Yeah. I mean, he said in one of the earlier interviews that we heard, right, I am the best player that Collegiate has ever seen, and he's definitely in a position where he is looking to showcase that.
Oh, and might see some of it here as Dardoch has arrived at the top side of the map. Vital has to have that flash burned. Almost taking out Porsche in the process, though.
Yeah, Porsche going very low, and Dardoch, I mean, he's still right here around the corner, and Vital is not going to get punished at all, and Vital's definitely in a position where he needs to be very careful of pushing this in, but it is going to be a blue buff steal coming through for Winnie, and potentially a dive. We said they needed to get this bottom lane ahead. Winnie goes for this every time.
Yeah, the early poke actually providing huge value.
Here's Dardoch.
Because now Shogo is chunked about half HP. Dardoch is sprinting down bot lane to try and salvage this play for UST, but Winnie already stealing away the blue buff, and now onto the Gromp. Will not be a dive, instead a skirmish around the bottom side jungle. Dardoch forces Winnie away for now.
Great movement on the map from Dardoch, right? He goes towards the top side, lets Vital know that he's there, instantly goes for the back, and is here to prevent the dive and save his own Gromp. Fantastic movement around, and he's even still trying to check and make sure that Winnie can't get in.
Doesn't look like a dive will be happening thanks to Dardoch, but Winnie and the rest of SLU actually doing a good job in this bot lane for now. Dardoch without that Sonic Wave, going to be pressured out a little bit here by SkyTec. The tech from Sky working pretty well in the bot lane.
Yeah, we'll see what Chef SkyTec is able to cook up a little bit more throughout this, right? One of the things about the Ashe is it takes a little while to really come online to get all the items that make this champion really oppressive to play against. And already they're doing a great job. I mean, look at how they're targeting the right player.
Oh yeah, right onto AIRREN they go. Shogo flashing forward aggressively, but they do land the Blade Caller in onto SkyTec. The Ashe doing a good job to chunk out the rest of the UST bot lane. Even trade all around in terms of health, but Daption still has that heal.
And so far, I mean, they've been doing so much work to try and keep Daption from really being healthy throughout the course of this lane. They're constantly putting all their damage into the support because they are usually the one more at risk of going down, but that means Shogo is strong, and Winnie up here in the top lane. This one is not matched by Dardoch.
Here comes the Q. Porsche gonna have it canceled here with the W, but
nice.
Looks like he's going to survive. Really nicely done by the top laner of UST.
Yeah, I mean, good stuff from Porsche, making sure he can cancel out the Vault Breaker with the Q, but now we're seeing it all in the bottom lane.
Oh, SkyTec has to flash away. AIRREN now in a little bit of trouble as well. They do chunk Daption down to about 150 health, but it's not enough to finish any kill. Meanwhile, Dardoch has made his way over to the top side of the jungle and has found out Winnie at his Gromp. Looks like getting chunked out pretty low, and Winnie has to use the Vault Breaker to escape.
Wow, just skirmishes all across the board. Everybody is looking for fights everywhere. Woo. Dardoch trying to make sure he's in range if the Q actually does land, but he's still creating a lot of pressure, preventing Winnie from being aggressive. This is Dardoch getting in his head.
Yeah, here he goes. Flashes right in onto Winnie. Under the tower he goes. First blood, Dardoch.
And here comes RobbyBob as well. The fight is potentially not done. He's going to be coming over the wall.
Strompest roaming, but he's just too late. The Claw already in, and Vital in a whole lot of trouble. Stuck 1v3 under his turret, and will be the second casualty for St. Louis.
And I think we're looking towards a 3-0 already here, Graves. That is a huge lead going over to Porsche. And now Strompest needs to be very careful that he does not add to the kill tally as RobbyBob finally hits level 6.
Yeah, that 6 going to be pretty big, but Strompest being aggressive here. Might almost take down Porsche, but there comes the Glacial Prison to keep Strompest away from Porsche.
Yeah. barely keeping them alive right there. Strompest picking up that counter kill could have been really big, but now UST winning the top side of the map. They're winning the bottom side of the map as well, and honestly, great stuff. The E flash coming through from Dardoch, guaranteeing the Q as well as when he tries to get out. And then after that, I mean, there's not a whole lot that Vital can do. He doesn't have level 6. He doesn't ignore any of the crowd control. And as they pick them up, Strompest is just a little bit too late. UST is outskilling their opponents and out-rotating them at the same time. And SLU, we said this before, if there's any team I would want to be playing from behind, it would be SLU. They win so many games that they're not supposed to.
And now have to play a fight that they're not supposed to win. A huge root out of RobbyBob as already Winnie goes down. SkyTec and AIRREN still healthy on the backside, but the Milio W just doing so much to keep UST safe. Vital chunked out pretty low. The Dragon at 1,000 HP, but Winnie not able to get in just yet. Strompest picks up the kill, but the Dragon goes UST's way. Now SLU have the numbers advantage. And they get in. The Blade Color not going to be enough to take down Vital. And now SkyTec going in onto Shogo. Robbie throwing out the claw for a little bit of disengage, but Shogo's still in a lot of trouble. A beautiful Q out of Daption keeps St. Louis alive for now. SkyTec still raining in the arrows, and UST will survive.
Wow, I mean, everybody getting out of that one except for Dardoch as Strompest flash is in. It is still UST going okay in that fight, right? They still pick up the Dragon in exchange for the kill, but look at what's happening up on the top side of the map as Porsche with free reign over this turret. Winnie is just now getting there, and I mean, yeah, he'll be picking up this wave, but look at the fact that Porsche is already a huge CS lead as compared to his opponent. This is supposed to be a lane where Vital can come out ahead in the 1v1, but Dardoch has done such a good job creating pressure up on the top side that it hasn't mattered.
I thought this fight was going to go much more towards UST's side. Look at this W that Robbie's able to get off.
He just doesn't have the ultimate, right? That's the big difference maker. If Robbie has the ultimate as well, get the extra burst of damage and the slow, there's no way that SLU can even try and chase this fight at all. But Dardoch knows I would rather have this Dragon than my life, and they are able to pick up this objective at the very least. But in the extended chase, they don't lose anybody else. And so, as we look at about 1,000 gold lead coming through from UST, the question remains the same. SLU is once again in a composition that really wants to try and go for some of these flanks, but they are mostly known for just going straight into the fight. They take a look at it, they say, yeah, we can stat check that, and if they're right, they look fantastic. If they're wrong, we might get a 3-0.
I mean, just really good stuff coming out from UST throughout. Vital trying to find something here in this top lane that has kind of been awry for the Olaf onto the Rift Herald. Now Dardoch and RobbyBob, they're locking down Strompest. It is just so much damage being dealt, and RobbyBob picks up his 3rd kill.
And Dardoch looking so clean on the Lee Sin as well, as now they're moving over to try and stop the Rift Herald, but it's already gone. Winnie needs to run. Should be on. Oh no, Winnie.
Have the escape here with the Q, but Porsche pops the Ghost and is trying to chase Winnie down. Another slow lance, the Intofo strikes. RobbyBob locking him down a little bit more. The Q does not land. Winnie surviving a little bit longer with the blast shield, but it will be Porsche securing the kill. Vital popping the Ragnarok, trying to get one back. All that has been used, and a 3v1 Vital is, and a 3v1 Vital will die. A double kill for Porsche. It's 6-1 UST. And down in the bottom lane now, Shogo fighting under the turret, gets the kill onto AIRREN, hitting that level 6 first.
This is a masterclass coming out from UST at this point of controlling the top side, making sure that Cassante is able to continue playing. It doesn't feel as though there's any point of power left here for SLU. And SkyTec, I don't think he really wants to take that fight from this position, but so far, I mean, the top lane, big lead coming out from Porsche. Robbie's been rotating around the map in the way that we were kind of expecting Strompest to do in this series. And so far, UST, they're winning the top side, they're winning the mid, they're winning the bot side. Where does SLU even come back from the position? We'll take a look at this dive yet again, but as they already have level 6, right, even though he runs onto the traps, he's able to drop the aggro.
Right back to live, and actually, Winnie will find the kill onto Shogo. Not entirely sure how that happened. Did not have summoners or ulti, so it's a pretty easy target. Gonna be a big kill here for St. Louis, but they still have a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, they still got a big bounty to try and pick up off of RobbyBob as well. A minute and a half left until the next Dragon comes through. We're once again looking at a spot where most of the members of St. Louis will not have any items completed by the time the Dragon actually does spawn, whereas a lot of members of UST will be very, very close. So we take another look at the replay. We get to see how Shogo got caught.
Nice ult.
Yep, all right, fair enough. Winnie holding onto the Q, or holding onto the ultimate. At the very least, does make sure that they do have that for a potential fight going forward. I always love watching. That's my favorite thing about watching players, is watching them not use abilities.
Yeah, just the hesitancy, knowing that you can get the job done and still have that cooldown available for another fight can prove to be very valuable at times. And hopefully Winnie will be able to use that ulti to get another advantage here. Shogo still does not have that ulti and has to play very safe, knowing that the Vi could be around.
Yeah, and Vi is right here. Potentially look for something. If they can pick off Shogo before the dragon actually spawns, this is going to be SLU's best window to try and evening up that objective. But Shogo playing pretty far backwards, very respectfully for this player actually. Trying to make sure that they can still tweet out on Twitter as well. I wonder when the tweet was scheduled for actually. Do you think it was after effectively game 3?
Probably. If I, knowing Shogo.
Oh, there he goes!
But here comes the ultimate out of Winnie. The cleanse from Daption is enough to keep Shogo alive. That's Milio, baby.
Oh, what do you do against that? That's so much layered crowd control that is now gone. They cannot use that for the upcoming dragon fight, and so that should just be UST going to snag that for themselves. They were preying on the fact that Daption might be somewhere else other than bottom lane in order to make sure that they can actually take that fight. But now, SLU, they don't have a ton of tools to actually go for this one. They back away, and you instantly see Winnie moving towards the top side to make sure he doesn't fall behind in terms of jungle camp as well.
So now the second dragon going the way of UST, just kind of having advantages all across the map. Even in the top side where Winnie has gone to try and defend himself, it's Porsche taking another plate.
Yeah, Porsche has done rather well this series. Even though they were put behind in a very awkward position in game 1, game 2, they were looking so strong, just running amok in all the different fights. And it's interesting, this is a player that I've actually known since, I think they were like 13 or 14 when they were playing for Super League and the Houston Blast. But now Winnie goes in.
Yeah, the UST might be caught out just a little bit. Winnie getting locked in here by the RobbyBob ultimate, and now actually, UST's mid-jungle buying a lot of time. Dardoch is alive, pretty low, but will survive for now. SkyTec now in a bad spot. Has to use the flash, but will not get it out in time. And AIRREN now in a bad spot as well. UST's running the floor. He's alive. Is just too gross out of St. Thomas. Everybody on SLU falls to the floor.
Oh my god, and RobbyBob living there as well. He's the one with the big bounty that they were hoping for. And Strompest trying to go hunting, but not going to get there in time. Man, Daption just feels like he's everywhere. Man, he goes from the bottom side. He makes sure that he keeps Shogo alive by cleansing the arrow. He goes towards the mid lane, gives him all the bonus range, and also gives just enough shields to keep RobbyBob alive. That's a big bounty that RobbyBob would potentially given over, but no kills going over to SLU. Just continues to balloon this goal. It's already 3,000.
You look at top lane, Porsche's up 2,000 gold on his own. I mean, that is just not what you wanted out of the matchup that you selected for yourself. Vital's going to get some back off of the taking of this bottom lane tower. But again, just such a big deficit at this point. I'm so surprised how long Dardoch lived here.
Yeah, honestly, the fact that Ballbreaker missed might be the big difference maker, right? And because he's able to get so much healing off of the Steel Will coming through, does give him just enough to survive here. And Porsche comes in and gives him the shield as well. And then it's Daption's turn, right? Everybody is going to be taking a turn to keep Dardoch alive throughout this entire fight. And as they eventually run down AIRREN, I mean, this Jinx, man, no resets, no items, does not have the damage. Man, you got to feel for Strompest there. So close to picking up Robbie.
Seems like SLU has been so close multiple times this series. And
it feels like younger sibling syndrome as Strompest might get caught.
Has to use both dashes already, and still just not enough distance being created. A nice long-range arrow out of SkyTec combined with the ulti, and now Dardoch still in a bit of trouble. Here comes SkyTec, but there's just not enough damage on SLU's side. Winnie trying to fight this out in a 2v1, but Dardoch will survive. And Shogo, hey, remember him? He's still in the game. He takes down SkyTec. 10-kill lead for UST in Game 3.
UST are so ready for this rematch at this point. They're up 10 kills at 15 minutes, 4,500 gold. They pick up another turn for themselves. So much of this game has been around Dardoch and RobbyBob. Their movement around the map absolutely shutting down Winnie and Vital. And Strompest, well, he was looking like the one potential member who could continue building up gold for themselves to actually win this one. They are shut down as well. And so this UST squad, they're relatively rookie, right? They had a number of players who were playing in the Challengers League qualifiers in order to try and earn their way there. They weren't necessarily scrimming with the UST team the entire time.
And they look coordinated as ever. I don't know, Josh. It doesn't seem like it's affecting them very much. RobbyBob caught out maybe a little bit. See if Winnie can lock him down. There's the vault breaker. It will connect, and Strompest is going to try and follow the frozen claw. They will get the kill. It's a big shutdown. Strompest will pick that up. But it's still a 4,500 gold lead.
At least it goes over to the player that really needs to get it, right?
Yeah.
Like, Strompest is the one answer that they have to trying to deal with Shogo if you try and take him down. But we are about a minute before the next dragon. That's a lot of resources to go towards the top side. And SLU, they're just going to lose one as well.
Yeah, Vital kind of knows that he's dead. Try to chase down Shogo a little bit, but oh no. Oh, don't do it, Tim. It's just too rude.
I mean, that's a tough one. It's rough. And now they are less than a minute out from the dragon. They drop down the Rift Herald as well. I don't know if it even crashes because of how far it'll have to go, but Porsche, don't be another one.
See, a nice knockup actually landing in on SkyTec, forcing the heal out of the Ashe. St. Louis trying to find something, but I mean, I don't think you're going to find it on the Porsche. He's very strong.
No, and there's no dragon to go, excuse me, there's no Baron to go for it. It's still too early in the game. Rift Herald going to be spawning way after. No, was that the second Rift Herald? It's going to be crashing down here in the bottom lane. Like, SLU, they're trying to do something on the other side of the map, but like we were saying, it has been so much about UST's ability to move around the map and lock down all these objectives. They've been outplaying SLU at every turn. They're going to crash into the inhibitor turn as well.
Yeah, I think they might be able to get it. Dardoch just kind of an unstoppable monster at this point, especially against Vital and SkyTec, who are not in a good spot here in this game. Nearly taking down that bot lane inhibitor, but just showing that UST can basically do whatever they want on this map.
Yeah, more than any other game, this has been a showcase of Dardoch's veterancy as well, right? Game 1, he had a fantastic start, but kind of got put behind after a ton of these big fights. But now, Dardoch, he's put them in such a dominant position from a lot of his individual plays. And as the rocket goes out and the arrow goes out, I was like, they haven't even started the dragon yet. Neither of those could have possibly stolen, and now Dardoch going to be doing it by himself.
Oh, AIRREN doesn't get hit up by the Everfrost, but still has to flash away. I mean, just another easy dragon going over to UST. And what a story it is here for this organization. It's their second time at the Collegiate Championships. They're going to make the finals for the second straight year if they're able to close this game out in such a dominant fashion against a team of very experienced players on SLU's side.
Yeah. And now Porsche and RobbyBob are here. What does Winnie want? He usually wants the fight.
He doesn't want it right now. I mean, Porsche and Robbie just too strong. They don't have the damage to take him down.
Yeah. What is Winnie up to? What's the plan here? Looking for Robbie.
Okay, single Robbie out potentially. That's a good option for SLU. The teleport comes in. Porsche just gonna rejoin his solo lane partner around the river. SkyTec in a lot of trouble, gets stunned up. Robbie looking for AIRREN, but not gonna find it. There's the ulti, and there's the bot lane of SLU going down just like that.
Yeah, that's supposed to be SLU's strength, just going forward over and over again. But right now it is UST who is smashing into SLU, and Vital once again on the side lanes trying to find a little bit of something. If they get the turret, it'll even up at least a little bit in terms of gold. But you can even see
beautiful kick out of Dardoch, locking Winnie down. Flash under the tier 3, but Dardoch will do the same. Killing spree for the Lee Sin.
And that's what we're saying, right? These are the individual plays coming out from Dardoch to cement the lead. And now RobbyBob is going to be potentially tangling with Vital, but he's got no mana.
It's not a fight that Vital wins at this point. 0-3-0. And RobbyBob just doing very, very good for himself in the side lane, having a terrific series all around.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of the time we talk about Shogo, but it's been RobbyBob by his side in that carry position for the past 2 years.
And they were part of the core, right? Porsche, RobbyBob, and Shogo that actually won last time around. As I mean, Shogo goes for the ultimate, goes sailing wide, and we were asking how were they going to be dealing with the Xayah. The answer is they are not. And so RobbyBob, I want to talk about that guy again a little bit, right? Because he's been around the tier 3 scene for so long. He's played on so many different squads at this point. And this is a bit of a departure, right? It used to be RobbyBob and Kitsuo for so long as a partnership.
Looks like you're doing pretty well with Dardoch, though. I mean,
doing quite well.
Partnership looking fine right now. Baron spawning right as UST make their way towards the top side river. There's no dragon to fight for quite a while. I would expect significant posturing from St. Thomas, if not just starting the objective up themselves.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what a happy coincidence. The dragon just happens to spawn as we get there.
Yeah, it's good timing.
Good timing. Well, here we go. UST setting up some traps for Strompest.
Oh, man, already in a whole lot of trouble. RobbyBob just going straight in with the ultimate. Strompest actually will be able to survive. Robbie has to go golden and will get taken out by AIRREN. It is a 1-for-0 at the moment for St. Louis, but you can see Vital throwing the axe and just standing still. He's too scared to go into UST.
I mean, I don't blame him, but at least we finally get the shutdown on RobbyBob. That's a fair amount of gold going over to SLU. But how do you do that consistently, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's enough tools on the side of UST. Robbie actually used the ultimate very aggressively, and look at this. SLU, they're convinced that UST is going to come back to actually start the Baron, but they're on the other side of the map. They're like, nope, we lost our mid laner. Can't do anything there. Can we even go for Porsche? I don't know if they have the damage for that.
1,000 gold shutdown on the Cassante. Has the gargoyle stone plate. Let's see if that's able to be a possibility. Winnie has the ulti, going to use the Strompest as well as SkyTec from the backside. Will chunk him out to at least half HP. Who are they going to give the kill to? Will Porsche even be able to die here in this engage? The stone plate has been popped. The all-out comes through. The Omni Vamp is there. Porsche surviving for so long. And
No way!
Will keep him alive until finally Vital shuts him down. But look at the time that bought for UST. Dardoch hitting on the bot lane inhibitor, and it is sure to go down.
Oh my gosh, so much extra time getting by. Even though they get the 1,000 gold, is it even worth it? They're trying to stop everybody from going through. Can Dardoch end the game?
It's a 1v1, and I don't think AIRREN wins this one. The Sonic Wave comes in. Oh, Strompest coming in back to base at just the right time to keep his AD carry alive.
Olaf does end up going down as Vital falls yet again, but UST, they are pulling the members of SLU apart. Just SLU, you know, it is what it is, but it's just so impressive watching the way that UST is moving around the map and creating so much pressure. Every single time it feels like someone is getting caught from UST, they're also getting something elsewhere on the map. And now they're starting to set up for the dragon that's spawning here in less than a minute. It will be Mountain Soul going over toward the University of St. Thomas. And that's going to be, I think, a little bit too much, right? We were already having a lot of trouble trying to take down Shogo. Imagine him with a shield.
Just going back to you saying Sue. I mean,
Sue.
You took the L out of SLU, but they already have 2 of them, maybe 3 soon.
SLU.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to extend it a little bit.
Wow. All right. Don't put that one on Twitter. I still want to be friends with those guys. But as we see this next dragon actually coming up, it is a very tough position, right? It has been a spot where we've seen Winnie and SkyTec in particular waiting around in specific bushes trying to find some of these opportunities to go for the engages, but they can't even go for anything.
SkyTec has to flash away. Dardoch just such a menace. Level 13 on this Lee Sin, and Shogo frontlining at this point because he sure as hell can. Using the Feather Storm just to keep himself safe from SkyTec. And Daption being the one to tank the arrow, and he's definitely okay with that.
Oh yeah. Super easy spot, and now
oh man,
St. Louis, I mean, this is desperate, but desperate times, desperate measures. You gotta find the fight. You don't actually go for the Baron here.
Dardoch puts out the Sonic Wave. Winnie trying to frontline as best as he can, but UST's onto the backside. RobbyBob coming in big. Dardoch onto SkyTec will take the Ashe down, but AIRREN still untouched for the moment. Porsche using the all-out, trying to close distance in onto Vital, but here comes Shogo trying to land the feathers in onto the opposing AD carry. AIRREN will be able to survive for now, trying to fire some last shots, but the King of CLOL is here for his crown. Shogo gets the kill, and UST's headed to Baron.
Okay, but Strompest is in a perfect position. He's waiting for the second part of the ultimate to come back, so he can do a ton of damage here over the wall. He can actually potentially kill 2 people instantly.
Going back to base, though, it's just not possible for St. Louis to get into the pit. Might be the icing on top of the cake of this series. It is UST securing Baron Nashor at 24 minutes.
And yet again, looking for that rematch, right? We got to go back to what we saw in 2022. UST versus Maryville in the semifinals, 3-1. Everybody was saying that was the real finals. I played them again, Gateway Legends, just about a month afterwards. That one was a 5-game series. We're setting up for yet another El Clasico between 2 of the most dominant collegiate programs we have ever seen.
Souls up here for UST, but St. Louis just can't get in. SkyTec easily going down, and now RobbyBob taking a big chunk of damage, nearly going down. It will be Winnie securing the kill. Now, how can St. Louis fight this one out? They're waiting for AIRREN. They're waiting for their main damage dealer, but they don't have enough just yet. Dardoch in onto... out of the veteran jungler. There's the main carry for SLU down. And now Vital fighting out a 1v2. Not in a good spot whatsoever. And Shogo will clean up the backside. Strompest does find the kill onto Daption, but it is still UST flexing their muscles there in the base.
God, the patience from Dardoch to keep the kick ready for when AIRREN actually joins the fight. He knows that's the one way that they actually lose any big fight, but now it's SkyTec and Vital trying to save the game.
They gotta run him down. They gotta stop UST somehow, some way. There are 3 members of SLU alive, but the Baron minions are maybe doing a little bit too much. In they go. They do pick up the kill on Dardoch, but Vital dies in response. Shogo still on the backside. That is it. Winnie spawning in 3. AIRREN trying to get some damage out as he just respawns. SkyTec trying to fire out these volleys. Winnie not going to go in onto Shogo. Still has so many tools at his disposal. They're going to find this out 3v2 because damn they can. Porsche and Shogo popping off in the enemy base. They're going in onto Winnie. They're going in onto SLU. It's the matchup you've all been waiting for. Tuesday, UST going up against Maryville in the finals. Is just a complete and utter dominating performance. University of St. Thomas 3-0 over SLU.
Wow, if that's what Shogo Low is going to be looking like going into finals, I feel like we're doing pretty all right here for St. Thomas as they take it down 3-0. A very fast series coming out from the defending champions. They are on the way to defend their crown here in finals.
What a great series. It seemed like the games got more and more like one-sided as we went on in the series. Have to give some love to SLU. They put some firepower out, AIRREN specifically in that first game. Almost being enough to get them that first win, but they're the defending champions for a reason. They got stronger in some of those positions. Dardoch, ALORM coming in, Daption being a big factor in that last game on the Milio. And man, UST and Maryville, they're two trains at high speed and they're going straight towards each other on Tuesday.
To crash right on into each other. It's going to be absolute wild. But while we wait to talk to that, we're going to hear a lot more about that later in the desk and also on Tuesday. But I want to give a quick shout out here as well to all the individual players for St. Thomas. Every single one played their hearts out. Every single one major contributors to this win. And I gotta check Twitter, right? Did Shogo's tweet already go live?
Already?
I don't know. It's not 3 o'clock yet. That's what I would have scheduled it for if I was Shogo, you know. We probably got about 13 more minutes, but the way that they were able to dominate every single one of those fights in games 2 and 3 really sets them apart today.
Yeah, just super impressive stuff out of them. And yeah, you know, for SLU, they came together over these last couple of weeks, boot camping really hard in St. Louis. They said they built a lot of camaraderie amongst themselves, and they look confident heading into this series. But it just wasn't enough, right? Top to bottom, University of St. Thomas looking incredible.
I also want to give props to St. Louis as well. Several of these players have gotten to this benchmark before. As an organization, this is their first time actually here, which is honestly remarkable for them. I hope that they continue to play in the Tier 2, Tier 3 atmosphere and continue to build themselves up, because we know that there is still a future for a lot of these players. But again, the man on your screen, Shogo, coming through. Now, he's good on Twitter, better on the Rift, able to take everyone down, even though there was a concerted effort to try and stop him in this game. He only died a single time.
Hey, remember, 3 unique champions in those 3 games. Remember from last year, unique champion each time on the land. Still in the works. They'll have a best of 5 up against Maryville in order to achieve that goal. But man, I mean, just an incredible performance again out of Shogo. Yeah. Unable to play at the NACL qualifiers at the moment, and so this is where he can really show his worth. And every time he's been on this stage, he has done just that.
He's done a fantastic job so far. So props to Shogo and the rest of University of St. Thomas. We saw some great stuff coming through. In particular, RobbyBob and Dardoch in Game 3, absolutely tearing them to shreds. So congratulations on them as they take a very quick 3-0. We will be seeing them again on Tuesday for the finals going up against Maryville. And do you have any thoughts on that one? You said they're 2 freight trains. Feels like a trolley problem to me.
And UST took the last one. Maryville's in the NACL. Maybe somebody on the interview stage can prove me wrong and shut me up just a little bit. But I mean, that's just going to be such an incredible series. It's what everybody was expecting coming in as well.
I have heard from the members of UST that they are convinced that if they were playing in the Challengers League qualifiers, they would be in the Challengers League as well. Unfortunately, they weren't able to because Shogo is just now becoming eligible to play with his collegiate team. And I mean, with the way that they're playing, I think we'll see a lot of that coming out later this week to see whether or not some of those boasts that they had so far are actually something to be taken seriously.
And it's not just Shogo that performed, right? Even in the last game, Porsche on the Cassante looking incredible. RobbyBob, just a terrific series all around. And of course, Dardoch in the jungle, the player, he's got the captain badge in his first year. Yeah, got in a little bit, just took over the Rift.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited for the finals, right? These are the 2 most storied organizations, it feels like, in the entire collegiate scene.
Well, congratulations once again to UST for taking that 3-0 over SLU. And we're going to hear a little bit more from them as Cubby is standing by on stage with UST's AD carry Shogo for an interview.
Thank you so much, Grapes and Joushi. Good work today. Also, good work to Shogo, the victorious marksman. University of St. Thomas. You're trying to be the defending champs. You've made it to finals. And I got to say, Odd Orange was calling you out yesterday. Any response to him? He said he wanted you guys.
I mean, they're big fans. We know that.
Oh, big fans.
This was just some light before the main course in 2 days, and we're gonna expose the fraud that is Maryville University.
Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, you always bring the heat. I gotta say, I actually picked up something in the back. We have a class schedule for you. You might be able to get there in time. I know your call time's at 9.
Oh yeah.
But 8 o'clock, there's humility in the modern era.
Oh, humility.
Yeah.
I filled that one.
You failed that one?
Yeah.
You should try and show up next time. Here, that's all yours. But on a more serious note, that last game, I know one of the newer members that you have, Dardoch, he was kind of looking like Lee Him in that last game. What's it been like having him be your leader?
I mean, as soon as Winston addressed himself as the Jungle King, it became personal. And when it becomes personal with Dardoch, it's just over.
Wow. Okay. He actually is Jimmy Butler. All right. Well, that's great to hear from Dardoch as always. I know, Maryville, obviously you guys toppled them in semis last year. Each team a little bit different coming into this year. One of the different parts of Maryville, it is Scary, Jerry, and Zyko. They were also excited to hopefully face you guys in the finals. What do you think of them as a bot lane and going up against them on Tuesday?
I think it's funny that Maryville University's worst player by far is the biggest ego. Zyko just carries him across the finish line every single game, makes him look decent sometimes. But I'm coming for your throat, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, Shogo, I mean, we've already gotten a lot of your words, but I'm just going to open up the floor to you. Any other thoughts do you have on your victory for University of St. Thomas before we let you go?
We're just going to enjoy the day, celebrate, take some time off, and then regroup. Shout out to my family watching, my girlfriend, my friends, all the fans. Twitch.tv/ShogoLol.
Well, hey, hopefully we can get, maybe some pro players streaming some more as well. You keep up the stream schedule pretty aggressively. Shogo, always good to hear from you. We're going to throw it back to Degon and the analyst task as we wrap up the day.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Cubby and Shogo, or we can call him Chogo right there. That's their duo name. I'm joined by Daption and RobbyBob here from UST after that 3-0 victory, along with Hawk. Guys, it looked pretty easy. It looked like you were having a great time on the bottom side every time. After every single big team fight, it was free money. It was free to just switch to your player cam and just see you laughing the whole time. Daption, talk me through what this series was for you.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't even that scary to play versus SLU. I know all of the players, and they're all great players. It's just, I feel like they're not on the same caliber as like UST and MU. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's just, we knew that coming into the game and we were really confident, so.
Levels to the game here, RobbyBob.
Well, I mean, he's just flaming everybody. Like, everybody's just flaming everybody. I mean, I feel like the SLU guys are great people. Like, and it's great to verse them. And I think I versed them many times, like there's mid especially, and I had to shut them out. Yeah, especially.
Yeah, I mean, you all. I think you all shut them up a little bit. Taking the nice 3-0. I mean, was this the expected result coming into today? Is this how you wanted it to go?
I think it was definitely going to be pretty brawly for sure. Like, definitely. Like when we were coming into it, we definitely knew like it wasn't going to be as easy as some of our, other experiences, right? Definitely last year, like maybe we could say that this match might have been harder than last year's finals, but it was definitely a brawl and definitely, I think we expected to win for sure and definitely close it out in a quick 3-0.
Speaking of 3-0, why don't we grade them both? You got the 3-0 here against SLU yesterday. Maryville took the 3-0 victory over Winthrop. Whose do you think was more impressive?
I think that's hard. Because after game 2, I think me, Robbie, we stopped watching because the games, I mean, after a 2-0, you can tell whether the attitude of a team is like, whether they are willing to fight or they're willing to just like roll over and lose. And unfortunately for Winthrop, it looked like they just wanted to get it over with. So, I mean, it was a valiant effort, but I definitely do think we had the better series. That might be my ego speaking. Maybe
I think it might be your ego speaking.
Yeah, fair.
All right, it's cool to see the dynamic now. The aggression here, Robbie being like, guys, all right, let's show some respect. Let's see how you guys close it out in this last game. We got some replays here for you. Starting off in the top lane, had a bit of a skirmish here where Dardoch found the pick, and then I think we caught Porsche like in no man's land here?
I mean, yeah, like we saw that they're low, and I said I was saving Cryo, and like, wow, or like he's just so low, and then Dardoch like makes that play on Vi, and we're like, okay, it's just too easy now. Like we're gonna dive this Olaf and then make it quick and simple, and then once we got that, we're like, okay, topside just won.
Well, once you got rolling there in that in game 3, were you just loose, and now all of a sudden this was probably the first game where you guys really opened it up and started to make a ton of plays. Here we got another one in the mid lane for you.
I mean, yeah, like we were talking about how Dark was saying that you can look on mid, and then we made a quick play on LeBlanc, and then we're like, okay, well, doing Herald, so let's chase him down and see if we can find maybe another kill here. And then you know, Porsche is saying that he's coming, and he presses a ghost, and we just run him down and we get another quick kill. I mean, Dardoch might have messed this up a little bit, you know, kicking her away, flying away, which may have been a little much, but you know, at least we got the kill, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, this was really the game where it did seem like you were on Unleashed, as Degon sort of alluded to. What was it like? Just once you had the noob champ Annie out of there, it was way easier, or I don't know. I know that was what Alorum called it when we interviewed him.
Yeah, well, game 2, I mean, Annie just got 4 kills out of nowhere, and we're like, okay, well, Annie's a pretty easy champion to play, right? It's pretty, you just flash or whatnot, stun the whole team. So like, all right, let's just move to that. We have a free ban. So let's ban that, and then, you know, yeah, I was a little scared of his LeBlanc. He's been playing LeBlanc a bit, and I think he's pretty good on LeBlanc, but, you know, at least I had Lissandra, you know, to at least stop her.
Definitely. Close it out. Last final fight here. I think this is around the red buff. Dardoch yet again with just a crazy Lee Sin insect play. I know that we see insects all the time, but this was just another one and set up the rest of the fight here, starting with you getting a great flank.
Yeah, when we were looking for this fight, we definitely want to, you know, I saw them coming in, so I was saying that we should just look, and then, you know, I run in and I die. I mean, maybe it was a little bit less, but at least my team was able to close it out here, you know, like, I mean, it was a crazy fight. You know, I'm watching it, I'm just dead, but, yeah, like, Dark's is a great kick, and, you know, and then Daption is just on the side getting absolutely ran for, but
I was holding it. You guys were doing your part. Honorable, almost death, and death, right? Dying for the cause, you know. Dude, that's the mid laner, Lissandra, and the support's role, right? You know, it's, hey guys, like, I'm holding them down.
Yeah, definitely a big catalyst for it, and one of the big reasons why I think you guys have evolved to another level, not only because you've got the 3 returning members, but Dardoch coming back on into the squad, player of the series for today. What has it meant to you to get to continue to grow with someone of his caliber, his mentality, and his experience?
I think it's really cool that we get to play with someone like Dardoch. Like, all of his reputation, like everything that he's played for. I mean, everything. You can tell when you listen to comms that he knows exactly what he's doing. So having that confidence and having that kind of player on your team just makes you want to like step to the next level and be like, wow, I want to be the best player in this league.
RobbyBob?
Yeah, I mean, basically what Daption said, like obviously I'm mid laner, right? So I'm working closely with Dardoch, that all our plays are in conjunction. So I mean, to grow as a player and, you know, as a teammate has been great, and I think Dardoch has incorporated himself well into the team, and I've been really happy playing with him.
Yeah, I would be curious to know as well. I mean, of course, you know, you all are coming off your championship win last year, now coming in slightly different roster, but still a lot of the core is the same. I mean, Daption, I know you weren't here, but how, maybe Robbie, does this roster, whether it's Dardoch or just everybody, feel different from last year's? What makes you all special this time around?
I mean, I think all the players, you know, obviously we lost 2 pieces, right, with, you know, jungle and support, but I think our team really meshes well together, and that's the big part about why we won last year, was our cooperation and our teamwork. Because if you just work as a unit, I think you can be better than any other team out there. Especially when we versed Maryville, I think we held ourselves together, especially after the game 1 loss. And with Dardoch and Daption coming in, I think nothing has really changed. And to be honest,
pulling his weight.
I mean, Daption and Dardoch are really good players, and so I've been having a great time playing with both.
And along that for you, Daption, slotting into the roster, something already established, then Dardoch coming in with all of his grandeur, I'd say. How have you fit into the squad, and what did you do? Like, were there steps intentionally you took to be like, okay, now I know what my role is?
I think it's kind of cheating for me because I'm friends with Porsche and Robbie, and we definitely got to know each other much more this semester, like with school and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I slot in more with them than I do with Shogo and Dardoch. They're more the like aggressive, like I'm the best, like, you know, and just screaming on stage and typing in chat. It was it was a ride. But, you know, we have Porsche and Robbie to be like the rocks of the team and like pull us down from our, you know, high horse sometimes. Yeah.
Well, so on top of that, viewers at home don't get to see the chat. So not getting fined. Well, can you give us an example or two of some of the things?
I mean, I don't know if I can give examples. It's just
Without getting fined. They're all fined.
You could give an example, just don't get fined.
I mean, something along the lines of their bans and something along the lines of, you know, you guys are trying to ban the Shogo and it didn't do anything and, you know, all of this. And during the entire match, it's just typing and typing and typing. And I feel bad for the enemy team because I have friends on the enemy team for SLU, but I'm fine with Dardoch and Shogo doing it, honestly. The talking, like, you know, it's banter. It's banter at the end of the day.
All I've learned is, there you go, in your solo queue games, if you auto-mute, you're missing out opportunities for banter and being like Dardoch and like Shogo, who have now found themselves in the top 10 players in Collegiate Championship here. That's one of the fascinating things for you, RobbyBob, that blows my mind, along with Porsche and along with Shogo. There were thousands of players that start their journey this year being like, okay, goal is to make it to the college championship. Not only have you done it once, you're on the precipice of doing it again. And on top of it, doing it against one of the rival colleges, the villain colleges, if you will. When you think about playing Maryville and think about going back to back here, does legacy come into it? What do you think about when it comes to this matchup here for all the marbles?
I mean, especially for me, like I play against Maryville so many times. So, I mean, I think they're well acquainted with me and I think they're well acquainted with just the team in general. So I think it's going to be a really great match. I mean, they've been like one of our scrim partners as well.
Yeah.
And I think defending the title against them is going to be, a hell of a final, I would say. Like, I think it's going to be whoever comes out on top, really, whoever shows their best on that day is really going to pull it. And that's how it's been every time.
I think also for Maryville, me and Shogo versus Scary Jerry and Zyko, that's going to be the most exciting because I know Shogo and Scary Jerry have a long time going rivalry. And then, you know, Zyko tweeting on Twitter that, you know, he was going to, along with his birthday, win CLOL. You know, I don't really want that to happen. So I feel like it's going to be really exciting to verse them and show them really who's the boss.
Fans coming to an all chat near you. I don't want you to win on your birthday. Good luck. Have fun. From Daption.
It's just banter, though. You know,
it's just banter.
It's just banter. Yeah, I mean, Maryville's called you all out, though. They've been saying they want you. And Shogo has also called them out. I talked to him almost a month ago now on CLOL Files, and he was saying, look, I'm just looking forward to playing against Maryville. So, I mean, would you all say that you as schools are starting to get a bit of a rivalry here? And is this going to become one of the El Clasicos of CLOL?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I mean, yesterday with Winthrop versus Maryville, that's obviously a historic matchup, right? Mm-hmm. They played many times, but I think with the amount of times that we played them with UST versus MU, I think definitely another one is coming.
Yeah, definitely with the, I guess, position that you're in as a returning champs, the form that both of you guys are in, it's going to be a heck of a matchup here as we take a look at the schedule to close out the day. For the next couple of days here, more collegiate action. Switching on over to VALORANT tomorrow, where Winthrop University will be taking on Fisher College Navy in the lower bracket finals for VALORANT. And then the matchup that we've been setting up, Maryville and St. Thomas. It's going to be a good one. Will it be a good birthday? Will it be a bad birthday? Who knows? It'll be a birthday over there at Maryville for Zyko. And then we'll close out the week of college celebration action with the winner of the lower bracket VALORANT finals up against Northwood University. Going to be a heck of a time. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us on the desk and for breaking down a lot of what happens behind the scenes. For all of you at home, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with more collegiate VALORANT action. Lower finals at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. On behalf of myself, all the casters, and our two friends joining us today, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for some VALORANT.
Welcome everybody to day 2 of the Collegiate Championship. Our second semifinal matchup of the weekend between St. Louis University and the University of St. Thomas is about to get underway.
No flash both, no flash both. I'm hitting Lulu,
Yeah, Lulu.
He's trolling, he's trolling.
Looking good. It's looking so good. She's slowed.
Oh, it's
One
looking
more.
so good.
Good job, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, very well played.
It's a quick GG. Nice block. Well played, guys.
Okay.
Slow.
That's fine.
Watch.
Syndra.
Carefulness.
Keep going. I can axe. Wukong.
Oh, here comes Shogo, not able to take the mid laner down, but it looks like the team is going to fall to the might of Shogo. Baron to UST, they found the turn that they need. Moonlight Vigil comes out, but here comes RobbyBob onto AIRREN, but AIRREN will Gale Force forward, and AIRREN will shine fire in onto Shogo, but the Kog'Maw is still going to live.
Oh my god, Shogo. Oh my god, oh my goodness.
Here comes another beautiful ultimate out of Dardoch, and Winnie's already chunked about half HP. Grand Starfall comes out, and the front to back is just too good. UST running the floor with SLU as they pick up 2 easy kills and are looking for more. Actually, UST's mid-jungle buying a lot of time. Dardoch is alive, pretty low, but will survive for now. SkyTec now in a bad spot, has to use the flash, but will not get it out in time. And AIRREN now in a bad spot as well. UST's running the floor. SkyTec in a lot of trouble, gets stunned up. Robbie looking for AIRREN, but not gonna find it. There's the ulti, and there's the bot lane of SLU. Going down just like that. Porsche and Shogo popping off in the enemy base. They're going in onto Winnie. They're going in onto SLU. It's the matchup you've all been waiting for. Tuesday, UST going up against Maryville in the finals is just a complete and utter dominating performance. University of St. Thomas 3-0 over SLU.